For the meeting purposes, to go smoothly, let me mute everyone and you can drop me a message in the chat box if you want to communicate or ask anything. So that will minimize the distractions. So I have the chat window open and let me host tools. Them to unmute them and let me mute. Okay, participants. All right, thank you very much. So this is our regular monthly meeting, which I have initiated on the request of our customers and colleagues who are interested in our services and product. So just let's start with this disclaimer. The material presented here is for educational and learning purposes only and should not be taken as purchase or sell recommendations. Trading, investing in stocks and derivatives, especially futures and options, those are risky and could result in a substantial loss of invested capital. I'm not a registered financial advisor with FINRA or SEC or for any financial advice, please consult a registered financial advisor. Just a brief background about myself. I am basically an engineer who have worked with Chevron for over 2 decades. But as part of my business development and while doing my MBA back in early 90s, I have always been passionate about stocks, especially US markets and investments. So that was my side hobby when I was there at Chevron. But for last 20 years, I have been working partially and then fully as a trader and investor myself and advising my networking friends and colleagues. And slowly, because of my programming and software development, I had developed this software, which is mainly for Microsoft Excel for 365. Microsoft Excel of Office 365 for Windows only at the time being. And we have also developed different proprietary indicators. One of the proprietary indicator, which I'm going to talk about, which is our main one, I would say signature, is a TR indicator or trend recognition indicator. So as part of our services, if you go to our website, let me just briefly go to our website if it is opening here. We have our website and I provide on this website every Sunday a weekly commentary and stock picks for our customers. You don't need to have this particular software because the weekly commentary is available free of cost for the time being, and there's going to be a charge pretty soon, not at the moment, so it's completely free. And we will discuss the market analysis, sentiments, and then you can view our stock picks for the recent past as well as the most current for this week as well, the performances and a discussion what is going in our view is going to happen. Our long-term stocks for people who are investing there or there for a long term on the long term basis, and for the medium and short term picks for maybe for a couple of weeks or maybe a couple of months, which we normally people just go in and out. We have also have a WhatsApp group. We just recently started that, and you can request it, and then I can let you join the group. And then we also have our Etsy store, and we have a Facebook page and Threads pages. Instead of Twitter, we have on Threads, and we have a YouTube channel as well. So I'm recording this today's event, and then people can watch it at their convenience later on this YouTube channel. Just a very brief introduction about our what we are doing, our services and product, and then we will come straight to our because it's again most of the people are fasting and Ramadan, so I don't want to take much of your time on a weekend. So the people who have seen and watched our presentations previously probably have an idea. So this is basically about the analysis of stocks. One of the stocks I was considering, I might include this in my this weekly's picked list is Alignment Healthcare Inc. It's comparatively a new IPO, not very old, maybe a year or 6 months. Uh, Alignment Healthcare, I think, sorry, is not a year or six, it's 2014. It's known as ALHC. So, for example, if you want to analyze any software which is traded, any stock which is traded on U.S. Stock exchanges like Nasdaq or New York Stock Exchanges, then you can just put that symbol here. And sometime the symbols in Excel are different from normal symbols which we use at other platforms, and we have to include the X Nasdaq, X NAS, for example, if it is traded in Nasdaq, it is a New York Stock Exchange. But for that, most of them are similar. For example, this ALHC, all you have to do is press this update button, and it will fetch the information through the Excel data feed. And for example, what is daily range, how its different types of its charts looks like, different uh, parameters for volume, average volume, relative strength, different technical indicators, how the market performed on that particular day, its suggested profit and stop loss targets, as well as and any other useful information which you might find, and then support and resistance level as well. In addition to that, we have our proprietary TR indicator, trend recognition indicator, and which is telling us that it is in a strong buy range for the timing on this weekly chart, ALHC. It also gives a section, a performance section, where you can compare its relative strength. For this, for example, this performance is LHC. You can see the market itself is SPY, the second row here. The market itself is pretty much negative for last 6 months, -1%, -5%, something like that. But let me pull this thing here. Right, so you can see clearly. This stock, you see, it has given us 64% in the last 3 months, 60% in the last 6 months, handsomely beating the overall market, which is S&P 500. And not only this, it also beat its healthcare sector, which is XLV, which was -5% during the last 6 months and plus 5.66% in the last 3 months. So this stock has been doing very well. Now, we just don't just see this performance, past performance, and jump onto the stock, because the stock normally, when it's moving like this, it could have been extended. And then we need to go and do a fundamental analysis of what are the products this company is offering and how the company is positioned, how the competition is, what is the revenue and earning growth. Key are revenue growth and earning growth. If a company is continuously increasing its earning and revenue, it's going to reflect on its stock prices ultimately. And then we can view it on our daily and weekly charts and analyze it. Not only this, it also has a section. Let's say we want to analyze that, let's say for last 5 years. As I said, the stock is pretty new, so we don't have the data for 5 years, but for 3 years, we have this data. Seasonality. Many stocks, especially the tech stocks, they have some kind of a seasonal pattern. For example, this particular stock, if you take a look here, in the month of July, it has always 100% of time, and month of October, 100% of time, it has beaten the broader index S&P 500. Always, and not only it beat it that, it's written in the month of July and October, even in September, it's 11.66% and 13.38% on average. So in other words, maybe April is not a very good month, March is not a very good month for last 3 years, whatever the data is available, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years for this particular stock. But July and September or October, and September, minded, is a comparatively a very weak month for the overall market. People who have been trading or investing in the stock market, they know September and the period from August and September, those are not very good for US markets traditionally. Does not mean that it is guaranteed that it will happen every year, but normally that's the pattern. So this stock is a very good stock when we come to the month of July. But besides that, we can see that it has very recent, very strong recent history. 60%, 64%, 33% in 1 month. So instead of, for example, if we are invested in something like Microsoft, try Microsoft here, and you will see the Microsoft what it has done in the last 1 year or so. Now it's calculating the Microsoft's all these technical indicators, plotting charts. Microsoft is negative throughout for last 1 year, minus 8.88. Although it is positive for last 5 years, but on the YTD basis, on year-to-date basis, and on 1 year basis is throughout negative. So if we have a choice, now I'm not saying that you move all your money from Microsoft to this particular stock. Obviously, this is a very small company, ALHC, and it's in healthcare. When they go up, like skyrocketing. And when they go down, they just fall like a falling knife. So we have to be careful. But from the diversification point of view, we have to analyze and then uh, take the risk, whatever it is warranted. And this is where our commentary comes into play. We evaluates our long-term stocks, short-term stocks, like we evaluated gold and the gold miner GDX, gold miners ETF, which has been performing very well for last couple of months while the market is down because gold is in. People are moving their money from high risk areas to like technology and customer discretionary areas to safe havens like gold and gold miners. So we are good. Another stock which picked up not last week, maybe last month is TW. I've just updated it this common and it is still actionable at this level, 140.48. And it has been performing very well. We will see what was the results of TW. So this is a kind of a brief introduction about the software itself and its analysis and the tools we have over here. We have a daily guide as well for the day traders. We have a heat map for different sectors as well as for overall market. And you can have your portfolio tracker as well, things like that. But today's focus will be on TR chart, which is our proprietary indicator. It's known as trend recognition indicator. And what we do, it gives us different bands. The light green is first. This is if a chart, if a stock is starting a new trend, then it starts with this triangle. And after this triangle, green triangle, then it comes the first stage of long, which is light green, and then this very strong buy area, which is a dark green area. On the flip side, we have red diamond, which means that a downward trend is starting. These two lines are the moving averages line. And we can pick up the different moving averages from for the daily charts as well as for the daily chart as well as for the weekly chart as well. Let me see if there are any messages in the chat box. I've seen messages from Mr. Ali Khan, but not from others. Okay. Uh, all right. So I now do see the chat window and the messages. How do you screen finder so that you want to get more detail in Excel? The tool is very useful. But if you have a screen for dozens, do you have any tips on that? Okay, fine. So let's go one step backwards. The question is, how do you find the stocks to analyze? So this is the process which we have. Part of my work, I am subscribed to a number of different market information services like Wall Street, Barron's, Investor Business Daily, Market Watch, Bartier, and through those we filter out. We have different screens. We filter out like a strong earning list. We have accumulation distribution screener, which tells us that okay, this particular stock is being accumulated by Wall Street. Then we have bullish screens and we have bar chart screens. It's quite complicated process, the decision flow process. Through this information, we filter out and we come up with a few stocks only, and then we analyze through our software. Then we go through their performances, as I was explaining, their relative strength versus their peers and industry groups. and other technical indicator, but primarily around our trend indicator. And then we have some secondary filters. For example, we normally don't go for investment in bank stocks or insurance stocks or alcohol stocks and others. And then we come up with this final list. That's how we work every week. Now, where are those screens? I can show you a couple of those screens. And through those screens, yes, we do fundamental analysis as well. For example, we take a look at their revenue and earning growth very deep down. Are they continuously increasing their earnings? What is their relative strength against their other businesses? Not really into everything like balance sheets and other, but we go and take a look at their equity to debt ratio as well. Those kind of fundamental things. So, for example, if I just go, this is my bar chart scanner, and we have different scanners set here. One of the scanner, for example, is volume advanced scanner. Other one is our bullish scanner. Another one is TS daily one. So on a daily basis, we run these screens and we evaluate. It comes out with different results, and then we go through those stocks one by one basis. That's how we narrow down our the list of this bar chart. For example, they have their top 100 stocks limits. Their list of top 100 stocks which are performing very well, but it does not mean that we go and blindly just start investing in these, because most of these, when they pick up those stocks, they are already extended. I hope that gives you an idea. For example, similarly, I use another platform, which is a stocks chart. And over here, we have our advanced stocks analysis screener. So one of the screeners here is our scan for industry strong AD, like day trading strong AD. This one I was talking about. Now we here take a look at companies and stocks which give us a hint that which are the stocks which are being bought by institution and funds, which are being accumulated, and which do not belong to here's a secondary filters: banks, insurance, gambling. AD is accumulation, distribution. Accumulation means the stocks which are being accumulated by fund managers and the banks. Distribution, which are being distributed or being sold off by big fund managers, hedge fund managers, banks, etc. We run this scan, it comes up with these 40 results. Now we go through our secondary filters, and for example, here it's very easily tell us, okay, which are the industry which are top performing. You will most likely see the accumulation is gold mining, computer services, and biotechs, but not really in some in software, but not the main software company which you think about. The small companies, SAP is not a small company, but like Viva, VEEV. And then we go and take a look at individual stocks through their charts and indicator, and then their fundamental analysis, and see what is happening to them. So it's just a long process. So as part of my work, probably we review hundreds, maybe sometimes thousands of stocks every week, hundreds of stocks every week, just to go through those screens and then find some very good stock which we believe that which are not immediate future will they have strong chances for of rising. So coming back to our list, here we have this. Give me a second. Let me list of stocks, which is our active review. We review it almost every day, almost every week. And most of these stocks in our weekly commentary, like Google, like this NVIDIA. And what we do, we have different settings here. For example, we want to analyze stocks which we have just chosen, or maybe which is HESM. HESM is a pipeline company. It's a Hess midstream pipeline company. It's neutral buy when it comes to the daily, but it's strong buy when it comes to the weekly chart. So we can evaluate in both of these. Microsoft, for example, is strong sell in both areas. Now, We are not into the shorting business, but there are many hedge funds manager who can use this kind of tool if they want to short it. So Microsoft, for the time being, is the tool is saying is a strong candidate for shorting it, but not for us. For our own specific reasons, we do not short it. And the long run, we are also bullish over the market. So we don't want to short the stocks. Someone was asking about Uber. So let's see. Uber, you see on the weekly chart, is a strong buy. This tick check sign tells us that it is in a buy zone. And this arrow means that the current week it gives a fresh buy signal. So let's see what Uber this just put down Uber here, update it by zone, and let's try to. Here is only 6 months chart. You see, this is the buy zone in the 6 months, last 6 months. This is the buy zone. This is the stop loss. So the tool goes through the history and through its own setup. It checks whether it is in a strong green zone, and it is in within some limits of this buy zone. What are those limits? We can go to the settings and check it here. So the upper buy limit zone is within 5% and the stop loss is 7%. If you want to work on a broader stop loss, you can increase it to maybe 0.1, which will be 10%. And if you want to increase the width, but those are for advanced people with advanced skills and who knows how to manipulate with these ranges. If you want to go and check for last 1 year on this weekly chart for Uber, so you ask, and now this is for 1 year. So in 1 year, it has given you 2 or 3 signals. So for example, this buy signal was given in June, but it never materialized. Why? Because it never crossed this buy zone. Instead, it came down. This time it materialized, it came down, tested its moving average, and then again give you a decent run, which was more than from 70 to 85, approximately 20%. When it comes down, you can take partial profit. And our strategy is when it comes back to this 20-week line or even 9-week line, that's the point you should not be in stock for a long position. You should wait for another buy point. Here we got another buy point, and here we got a strong zone. But again, it was a bit extended. Now it is telling you this check mark that this is within 5% of range of this buy zone. So now maybe it's the time to buy Uber. But before we make a decision, we have to go and check it Uber's fundamental as well. How is business is doing? What is its earning growth? How is its seasonality effects are there? What is the competition? What are the analysts are saying about it? And then we make a final decision to include it in this list. So maybe you can find it because this list has not been finalized, but TW is there, TradeWeb, and it's been there for quite a few weeks. It's one of the similarly BYDDY. That's a Chinese EV manufacturer, and it's a rival to Tesla in not only one in China, in Europe market as well. And it has a strong buy in both of these daily and weekly time frame. In other words, this gives an idea. Okay, this is a strong BYDD buy. It has a check mark. It means the buys. It's within the buy zone of daily chart, and this is also has a strong on the weekly chart. Then should we go for it or not? That's a decision which rests upon fundamental analysis as well. So Uber, for example, is for us is a go. Which are other ones? Gold one. RGLD is a gold mining company. GLD itself is gold. This is a biotech, and DRI is a Darden restaurant. It's in a staples, but it has. Look at these indicators. On both, it's giving you a strong signal, and the daily buy zone has just started. So let's try DRI and see what it's update the buy zones for this particular stock. And this has now updated. We have selected weekly here for 1 year. You see, this was the buy zone, and it's a new fresh buy zone which has just started. In order to see a fresh buy zone, maybe we go back and you have to plot it for 3 years or so. The same chart for 3 years. And that's why it is giving you a strong DRI. And for the daily chart, it's giving you a check mark, which means that it has just started. So let's do it for 1 year. For the catalyst working for DRI, I think it's a growth story. You see, this is what the chart is showing. Now, this particular strategy for the TI indicator is for the growth stock which are breaking out. It's not for testing the stock at support. This is a growth story. It has been growing very well, beating the competition in the market which it is offering. And analysts are expecting good results going forward. Those are the catalysts. The question was about most of the time people fall into this trap. Oh, it's going down. It has come to a very good level. Just buy it. It will go. Only to see it is going down and down and down and down because they don't know when the bottom is going to take place. So what we need to do, we need to, instead of trying to find a falling knife, when it comes out, starting from a base and starting give you a green signal here, that's the point. For example, if you just make an entry here at this point, and that was in August last year, and right now, how much was the price? 100 and maybe 50, 55, and it has gone all the way up to 200. Now it's battling with 200 or 200, in fact, 228. Sorry, 200. So that's the point, 200. In only 5 or 6 months, if you are following this pattern. As I said, this is daily chart. As I said that normally we suggest that when we fall below this line, then we should get out of the stock. But if you had conviction in the stock and you already have a good cushion, like if you enter here and you have a cushion here, you can give it a chance to further accelerate if the fundamentals are on your side and the market is on your side. Right now, for example, market is not in a good mood because of the tariffs and other things. Not for this particular stock, this is a restaurant stock, but for other stock like steel, aluminum, automobiles and others, which are and transportation industry, which are affected by these tariffs and the overall market sentiments. So those factors need to be taken into account as well. Now we have included quite a few small features here, and the purpose of today's small presentation was to go through these TI indicators settings and see how it is only effect. For example, right now it's giving us details of both the daily as well as weekly. If we just want to display only daily, we need to just uncheck this and it will tell us only daily TR signal only. In, in addition to this, we have a separate worksheet here where we can maintain different watch lists and different lists of our own. For example, one is our main list right here. And then we can have different kind of fields here, like what was the last price, change, percentage, volume, small 6 months mini chart, and the TR indicator. We can choose from a list of different variety of different available fields and technical indicators and select only those which we want to see here. And then we are, for example, we are maintaining different watch lists and different skin. One is coming from our strong earning list, one is our main list, for example, and others like accumulation distribution lists and different skin results, oil and energy stocks. So we are maintaining different uh, watch lists here. And we want to know that this particular, for example, this COP, this ConocoPhillips, in which list this stocks appears. So we can choose from here, use this worksheet. For this, only one worksheet available is stock table info, but we can have more than worksheet for this purpose, and we can maintain as many watch lists as we want, coming out of different sources. What are those sources? Those could be sources like this bar chart screeners. Yes, you can segment the list sorted by industry or sector. You can do that. Because when you run the screener here, and you make the list. In those advanced screeners, you can narrow it down by industry or sector, but not within the tool itself. For example, if I run this screener, stock charts, okay, and I run, this is a type is stock, and then I have this sector industry. So I can choose my sector industry from here. Like I want to choose only internet. So it will only run that particular scan on internet. So once I have that screener ready, I can download that output or result into my Excel worksheet in the form of different lists and make as many lists using Excel tools and maintain those here. Sector leaders is a list, yes, which is provided by IBD, Investor Business Daily. To give an example, IBD, if you use this is IBD screen. And here in this IBD, these are the lists provided. This is IBD sector leaders. So this is, for example, you can just export this thing. 8080, FUTU, Brothers, MELI, CWAN. These are IBD sector leaders list. And once you export this list, you can, or you can directly type those if you have time and maintain that list over here. So you can go to the bottom of the worksheet and add a sector leader. Just let's add a list here. Sector leaders. And what it does, it was 8080, future, for example, hello. And then we can run this get table information. So it will convert and get the information and give us this tabular information about the name, last, price, change percent, volume, plot the mini chart. It updated that list, sector leaders. And now we have another list in this particular worksheet. So if we go back to our TR chart, we have a column in list. So for each stock, it will, when you run and develop this chart, trend recognition chart, it will also list down. It also lists down the name of those lists. For example, this Mara, it appears in 3 lists here, 4 lists. List number 1, accumulation distribution list, test list number 1. Question is, was shortlisted stocks buy zones are for how long holds? Now, each stock is different. So that depends upon the stock's behavior and the market conditions. You don't know what is going to happen in the future, correct? So maybe, for example, if there's a buy zone, you took an entry here, but it reverted and go back to this red zone. Then you have to get out with a small loss instead of making that loss or seeing that loss bigger and bigger again. So how long that hold, it depends upon your profit target and it depends upon the overall condition. For example, technology stocks are right now are not in a good condition. For example, Microsoft or maybe Nvidia. Let's take an example of Nvidia. If you go to and check Nvidia, so for last 1 year, Nvidia has given you a lot of buy signals. All those buy signals, except for this one particular in the April, and this one is in September, they almost failed. And what are they telling you? That this stock is struggling. It's struggling every time it gets a buy signal. People try to push it upward, fail. Push it right upward, fail. Now our strategy is that when it moves this past this buy zone, or it is in a this green zone, only then you go long. Like you're not going to go long here. You're not going to go long here because it's below that buy point. So we are not going to go long Nvidia below those buy points. A reverse strategy is that many people want to find a good support for Nvidia, and every time when they're trying to find a support, it fails. So this is a classic example that is something has gone wrong with this. This is a long-term leader. Don't get me wrong. If the market stages come back, it can definitely move forward like this. Difference between red, green, and yellow zone. Red zone is strong sell. there are three stages for downward trend and three stages for upward trend. Green, solid green means strong upward zone. Solid red means strong downward zone, sell zone. Light yellow means a downward trend, not really, it is not really very strong, but it is there. And the red diamond means that it is sensing a change in the direction, and most likely it's going to be a downward trend. A green triangle means it's sensing a change in the direction, but most likely it's going to be a upward trend. Small green, you don't see small green here because in case of NVIDIA, it moves very fast. So small green converts into strong green very quickly. It means that an upward trend has been noted. So that's the difference between red, green, and yellow zone. So the NVIDIA, in other words, is consolidating. It's not, its buy points are being failed. So stock is, maybe it's a long consolidation. It's more than 6 months and 8 months, 9 months. It might be a time, but whenever it will give us a time to move forward, it will be something like this. And then we can take our chances. NVIDIA should be here somewhere. Right here, JD, NVIDIA, right here. So on the daily chart is neutral buy, but on this weekly chart is sell. So we are not going to neutral buy. You see, there is no green, no zone, colored zone here, right here, blank zone. Question is, do you recommend using TR daily indicator? How much past data is considered to be good? I would recommend TR daily indicator along with both the weekly. Weekly gives you a long-term perspective, and the past data, it depends. For the weekly chart, a week is 7 days, right? So you need to have at least 1 year of data for a weekly chart. For a daily chart, maybe from 1 year to 3 years of data. Beyond 3 years, there could be too many buy points. It would take a long time to plot this, calculate this buy sell points at each point, and then give you an idea on that. So for example, so we were discussing, okay, so in list, if you want to see which of your list, which we had just, remember we have just added one list here, sector leaders. So 8080 or Futo or Hello, they should be also be appearing in sectors leaders. So, but 8080 at that time, when we plotted this, sector leaders was not there. So maybe it's time that we updated this, we run the screener again from the, and you see it's in 8080 right here where my cursor is, it added sector leaders because it's saying that there is another list which has been added to our lists of list, and then this particular stock is appearing in both lists. So that's a handy tool in which you are manually, maybe you don't need all those lists. In case you don't need to have those lists, or those lists are not updated, you just don't want to see it, go to the settings and just uncheck this, and it will, next time when it will update this thing, it will take out, it will not show any in list. In addition to that, maybe for the time saving, let's say you want to add a few stocks here, and you don't want to run the scanner and calculate the TR indicator for all these stocks. That's going to take a long time. So either you can just append the new list here, or you can append the new list here, or you can replace it. Question was, how can I easily add the market cap? Is that right? For market cap, you need to go to this particular user interface worksheet. And for each stock, it gives you a lot of details. Market cap is mentioned right here. For example, Microsoft market cap, last time it calculated, or it was $2.9 trillion right here. Okay, just below this, there's a list of all those buy points for this particular chart. So that's why there's a table here, and it tells you, okay, for the Microsoft last buy, sorry, not Microsoft, it was NVIDIA. Last buy point, it appeared on 14th of March with when the price was 121.67. Buy point was 133.837. With stop loss 109. That's the recommended stop loss 109.5. But it never materialized. Although the buy point appears on 14, but it never reached this point, 127. So we are not going to make an entry here because it is not crossing our buy point. It's not close within the buy range. Buy range means plus minus 5% in a green zone. So we're not going to make an entry for NVIDIA because it is, to us, it is struggling. In fact, I on my WhatsApp group, I shared this. I shared this chart yesterday. I took it from bar chart, and what is about NVIDIA, and what they were saying the last time when the NVIDIA has this signal, death cross, it's a cross moving average crossover. It's known as death cross, and I think it's 50 days or 200 days moving average. It's again had the cross last week, and last time when it happened, it has a 47% drop over the next 6 months. Now we are not saying that it's going to happen again because NVIDIA has already been destroyed, but this is definitely not the time to make an entry based on this observation, especially on our TR indicator chart. So I explained that we can have a fresh list, we can replace the existing list if we want. We can change the time frame from 1 month to 5 years. We can use select between weekly and daily. We can change the upper limit percentage or lower limit percentage, and we can synchronize the main chart with the TR chart. So whenever there is a simple change on the main chart here, like Microsoft, or maybe we change it to Oracle, so that TR chart will also be updated for Oracle as well. While it is updating this chart, this is the main information, main user interface is telling us about the Oracle. Go to the TR chart and you see now we have Oracle chart on the TR chart because that was synced with the main chart. And Oracle again is in a strong downtrend. You want to see the buy zones here, you have to update it with the buy zones because for the buy zone, it does a lot of calculation. And because of those calculations, it takes time. So we normally don't. Let's do it buy zone for weekly for Oracle. And see its last buy zone, it never materialized. It never reached to this buy zone. Although it did this buy zone in August, and that was a very successful buy signal. You see, strong green around 140 on 26th of August, and it went all the way up to 190 plus, something around close to 200. And that gives you a good run. But ever since then, there is no buy signal on the weekly chart. And not only this, there was one buy signal, but it never materialized because it never reached this point. And then it fell apart. It came down to fresh low. That could be a good thing as well because when the market recovered, it will start from the beginning and it's going to be known as the first stage, and it can give you a long run instead of being, for example, if it gives you a buy point right here, then it's a late comer. But if it gives you at a low point, especially below this red line, which is 20 weeks line, then it is going to be a fresh start for this particular stock. So most of the time it could be a good thing. So that was a very brief introduction about the TR chart and TR indicator. Someone asked me about Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin has a proxy which is known as GBTC. GBTC is an ETF for Bitcoin. And let's see what Bitcoin. So it's plotting 3 years buy points for Bitcoin on weekly. Now, you see, Bitcoin itself is a highly volatile thing. It has recently came down all the way from 106 to whatever to 79, but this is its ETF. And every time when it crosses it, gives a buy signal, it has a very strong run. In other words, Bitcoin could be this particular, if you want to make an entry into Bitcoin, just take a look at the GBTC wait for a good buy signal on the TR indicator, and when you get a good green show, then uh, this is going to be a Bitcoin uh, proxy. Question is, please show a sell example indicator on any stock. Now, sell example, this stop loss SL is a sell right here. This on the downside. It is telling you that at this point you must get out of this stock based on your preference. That's the sell signal. As far as the sell signal on the upside is concerned, take a look at this side. There is no such straight thing. Our strategy is generally we recommend that if you have 15 to 20% profit gain in a position, then take some partial profits. Like for example, you get a buy point here or a buy point here. You enter here. What was the point? 19.891. What is the 20% maybe? Maybe around, let's say 28, 27, 15, 20%. Take some profit off. That's your first sell and let the rest run till you get this kind of crossover, either this line or a red diamond. That means that it's going to change its direction. And then you can have, so in other words, at this point of time, we don't know what is going to be sell for the Bitcoin. It just depends upon the market condition. It can increase by maybe 100%. And in this case, it did. In fact, more than 100%. So for example, it increased from 19.81 or maybe 20 all the way up to the 660 plus 300%. So we cannot just define our sell point on towards the upside when it is starting a move. Best is to take some profit off the table as soon as you get some 15-20% profit, and then let the rest run till you get this kind of change. You know, there's no longer in the green signal. It is crossed, for example, here at the this is red line, and another buy zone up here. It has crossed, but you already had this long cushion here. So that's how you manage your sell towards the upside. Towards the downside, that's your sell signal. Okay. So let's see, we have a small, we want to replace that TR indicator. Can we say SL does not work consistently? I probably could not understand the question. SL does work consistently every time when it as stop loss is what actually is SL is a stop loss. What it tells you that your premises, your logic behind this buy point is no longer valid. And when it's no longer valid, there are strong chances that it will come down. So it's better. And if it is not, then wait for another buy point. So in this case, for example, there were two buy points next to each other. And why it happens and when it happens? It generally happens when a stock, in this case, it is not a stock, it's Bitcoin. It's coming out of a strong downward trend. So it struggles to have a consistent upward trend. It goes upward, then it encounters some resistance, it comes down, it encounters some resistance. So if you have strong conviction, you can give it more margin, fine. But if you do not, it's better to take a small loss at a stop loss and then wait for another buy point. But in this particular case, for example, if you made an entry right here, so you did have a kind of a cushion here, and you can even wait. Okay, we're not bothered about our, because remember the stop loss, how much it was set? It was just set to only 7% here. Some people say that it's very small for them, and that's right. For a volatile thing like Bitcoin or Chinese stock, 7% is on a very low side. Some people are fine with 10-15%, so they can just add it, increase it to 0.1 here, or whatever it is, 0.07%. You have to write down number of percentage, 15% here, so that's 15, or 0.07, it will change it. So you have to analyze yourself that what exactly is your limit for setting the stop loss. Our preferred limit is 7%. Future stop loss point, stop loss is on the negative side, Mr. Kamal. Future means that's profit target. Now the profit target for you could be different from a profit target for a different person. As I said, 15 to 20% to start with is a good profit target, because your stop loss is 8 to 10% or 7% in this case. So 15 to 20% means 1:3 risk to reward ratio. You should aim for 1:3 or minimum 1:2 risk to reward ratio. That's going to be your future stop loss point. But that basically is a profit target point. And that we leave it to people, because we don't know when is the long run is going to stop. In case of Nvidia, it went on for how many percentage? Maybe 300 or 400%. So it would have been a mistake to stop out at 15% or 20%. So that's why it's good to have partial profits, 15 to 20%, instead of completely getting out of the entire position. Now, here, for example, we have this sector leaders. We want to transfer this list, and we want to replace that list. So we go to the settings and we replace that list, save it, go to the, and only you want to see over here. We have these buttons here. We can use this transfer list from here or here as well. Now only these three stocks will appear, because in this particular list, only three stocks are present. And then we can go here and run the TR screen, and it will run it for only these three stocks. Hello, it could not find it for the timing. Sometime it happens. Excel, we have to, so hello signal, maybe signal was, we have to give us a exchange signal as well. Anyway, 88, 80, 80, and Q2. These are the two. And then you remember that the in list column that is gone here. Why it is gone here? Because we have unchecked this add list, which include the ticker symbol. So that was not there. So that is gone. So it's a more cleaner, simple kind of a list here. What is the question? Can we create a stock with ADRs only? Well, the symbols itself from the stock exchange, they are not telling you whether it is an ADR or not. It's not telling you. So you might have to go through a screener which identifies ADR means the stocks of the companies from different foreign countries like Chinese or Indian or whatever, Canada. And those companies, those are known as ADRs. Since the stock symbols itself does not tell you, for example, BYDDY, it's an ADR, but it is not telling, it does not tell you that this is an ADR or not. So within the tool, you cannot identify the ADR separately. So this is BYDDI. This is one of my favorite recently, because when it crossed the buy point, we picked it up, and then it has given us some good return. It's consolidating around 100, might come down to this place around 85, whatever it is. And it's good that you have been trading in VYDDY, but I think it has strong chances compared to Tesla these days. Reason being, in the most of the market, it is replacing Tesla, and Tesla is losing market share to it. So BYDDY is a very good company to be there, but it's volatile again. It moves a lot. When it was not moving. But when it did, it just really just, you see, it exploded from something like 75 all the way to 100. While the market was down, it probably increased by 50% in the same period. Okay, so I hope you like this thing. I have answered quite a few questions of my customers and other people. If you have any other question, let me just drop it. Yep, you get positive earthquake shocks. How can we test this workbook? You can order it from my website. Its pricing is this $199.99. I'm going to offer a $20 discount just with the promotion of Ramazan only. So it will be $99.99. And then if you don't like it, you can request a refund in 14 days. So it will become, in other words, it's a 14 days trial period for you if you're not happy with this. But hopefully you will be happy with this, because ultimately it's just not the software, it's also this stock piece and weekly commentary which comes with this. and the membership to our WhatsApp group and other group as well. Good question. What is the arrow mean? Up arrow means. Okay, let's go back to our worksheet. Up arrow means, and here we have down arrow. In this particular, this is daily. So in this particular day, the neutral sell zone has just started. This is BYD, and down arrow means in this particular week, last week, the neutral buy zone has just started. It's only a one-time buy. You don't have to pay anything extra. You're on yearly basis, and every new customer will get this and the weekly commentary for 1 year. The weekly commentary will not be free forever, and for the next year onward will be a minor charge. We haven't decided it yet, and the software itself will be free with the free updates for next 1 year. Hope I have answered this question. Now let's see TW. TW, I think TradeWeb is NYS is the right. Let's try this. Okay, no, it's not in New York Stock Exchange. It's most likely in Nasdaq. It's a Nasdaq stock, and it sometimes now Excel gets confused. Why? Because this TW symbol trades on a number of stock exchanges. So either it brings it from a wrong stock exchange or it does not bring it at all. So that's why you have to give a complete nomenclature. Complete XNAS means Nasdaq, TW means TradeWebs. So TradeWebs is a strong buy status, and it does not have a this week. This is a weekly chart. So the question was about Arrow. I hope I have answered that question. Arrow has just started in the last time duration, either day or week, whatever the time frame was, weekly or daily. Okay, and I hope that has been beneficial to all of you. Question is, Masood Wakar was selecting stock and lie. Do you follow VB, Cathy Woods, and other big players of market? Good question. I don't necessarily follow them. We have our own strategy methodology. But when we run this screener, for example, this bar chart screener, we go to this screener, and here we have these themed list. You see them? Now here it is has Cathy Wood stocks and Warren Buffett stocks. I think that was the questions. Now, obviously, there's a lot of information. There are thousands of stocks out there. I have one or more two partners in developing the software who helped me in developing the software and the tools. As far as the weekly commentary is made, that is made by myself. So, for example, you want to take a look at the Warren Buffett stocks. You want to take a look at the Cathy Wood stocks. So you download it from here. These are the Cathy Wood stocks. Okay. Now you need to have a list of updated Cathy Wood stocks. Download it from here. That's being downloaded. It's in Excel format. And just bring it to copy and paste to your worksheet right here. Okay, I have to copy it again. Copy and paste. There it goes. And you can name it as Cathy Wood stocks. Now, next time you can bring these Cathy Wood stocks, transfer this list here, and now the Cathy Wood stock goes here. And then you can see all their indicators. It will go and develop the TR indicator for each of these stocks. Or you can go to their main user interface, and this list has been updated as you see for the Cathy Wood stocks as well. If you want to see any Cathy Wood stocks, you can go one by one and analyze those stocks here. You can either see it here, or you can plot their TR indicator or TR daily chart like category stock has Amazon and AMD and other. Sometimes you might run into the problem because the symbols do not match. For example, AMD, you need a complete symbol of XNS AMD. Why? Because AMD trades on a number of stock exchanges in London as well and other stuff. And then it gets confused. So it requires you, if you want to do check the AMD, for NASDAQ, you have to give a complete name of XNS AMD. And then it will evaluate that particular stock for you. So let's write down XNS AMD here and maybe 1 year. And now it will fetch the data for AMD and develop this TR indicator chart for AMD, advanced macro devices. I see it's a very strong downward trend. So it's an ideal actually stock for shorting. Instead of buy, it just works in a reverse direction. Imagine just you have just shorted it here somewhere when it crosses this point and gives you a red signal, maybe 141. And right now you are it went all the way to 100. All right. I hope you like that. If you want to avail that $20 discount for the Ramazan, you can go to this website and then order it for yourself. Right here is the website, https:// analyze stocks.net. And any thought on converting this? Yes, we are going to work on this on a web-based tool because I myself not 100% satisfied with the Excel data feed, and the data feed will be separate from some professional data feed provider. But unfortunately, the professional data feed provider, they have an extra charge for live data because some of the customers are asking for live data for day trading. And for those data feed, customers have to pay extra per month charges to the stock exchanges, not to us. So we are working on that. Hopefully, we will have it on a web-based tool pretty soon. Yes, $120 lifetime is for the lifetime of 1 year free update. Okay. Any other question? If no, then it's time to call it a day. Thank you very much for your time, and please join us on our WhatsApp group. I'm going to on my uh, this is my website here, and in today's commentary, as I said, when it will be posted by the end of the day today, you have a list of all I would appreciate if you can support us by joining our WhatsApp group right here and Facebook page as well as our threads page. At least join this so you can communicate with us on a regular basis and see whatever is going on. And we have daily tips and question answers with our customers and people who are interested in our products. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for your time and interest. And I hope that you will visit our website, take a look at the tool, and if interested, will buy it, get advantage of this particular deal for Ramazan, and hope to see you next time, maybe after Eid. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Mr. Ali Khan, if you please give some time, you can contact me on my WhatsApp separately, no problem at all. Thank you very much.